Okay.
All right, we have Charlie Cook. He's lived in Sheridan for years and years and years. He now lives in Buffalo because he married a beautiful woman and that's where she lived, so he moved to Buffalo. And he's always loved poetry. He's had a couple of books written of his poetry. And so he has, one is, what is the name? His Hands? Grandfather's Hands?
Grandfather's eyes.
Oh, Grandfather's
I
Eyes.
love in grandfather's eyes.
Okay. And what's the name of the other one?
We're the angels.
Oh.
Now, I was going to do this last month before Christmas. And we're past Christmas. Do you still want to hear a Christmas poem?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. As a young fellow, I spent a lot of time in cow camps, and so a lot of my poetry centers around cow camps. And I guess get in the mood to Merry Christmas. I heard my horses nicker as I rode over the hill and on down to my cabin that was otherwise calm and still. Well, I left camp before sunup, checking cows, chopping ice, and here it is past sundown, but the skies are clear and bright. That star in the east is shining. It helped me see my way, and it reminds me of the story of Jesus and the star that shone on him that day. Well, it is Christmas Eve, so I guess it's only right. That star should be shining in the eastern sky tonight. I was hoping to get me a rabbit or maybe a grouse for my Christmas chuck. But I guess it's going to be rice and beans. I didn't have any luck. Oh, now, boys, just stand still. I'll get you unsaddled and turned out to hay. I know you're both tired and hungry. It's been a long, hard day. Now, stand still. What do you think you see? Nobody around, just you and me. Dadgummit, Luke, stand still. You're going to step on my toes. You horses act like young broncs, snorting and blowing boogers out your nose. Now get over there. I hear singing. And it sounded like a mouth harp too. Well, we're all losing our mind. It's just coming out of the blue. No, wait. I see some movement coming through the trees. Seem to be coming closer. Why, now it looks like there's three riders coming here tonight. Now I see them plainer in the bright starlight. Hey, come on in, rest your horses a bit. We'll get the coffee pot on, get a fire going under it. Boy, your horses look tired and hungry. They could sure use some feed. Got lots of oats and hay, just what I think they need. And not too far behind, bringing up the rear, was a heavy laden pack mule. On top was a big mule deer. Well, we shook hands around with the Merry Christmas flare, done our chores, went to the cabin. Never a name was shared. Oh, we had a feast setting tea, sang songs up into the night, and they read from a tattered Bible right there by that kerosene light. And they talked about the awesome happening that took place that night of the birth of Jesus Christ beneath the bright starlight. And the three wise men that traveled for many, many a mile to the town of Bethlehem to see this newborn child. And they seemed to know that Bible word for word as if memorized. And there's times I felt that the three of them may have stood by the manger side. And then they talked about the birth of Christ and how we should properly celebrate. And daylight came and I cooked a meal and they gathered around the date. They saddled up and rode away. Don't know from where they came. They disappeared over the hill. They never learned their name. But this cowboy learned more about Jesus from those men of unknown sources that rode into my cow camp on the backs of worn-out horses. And to this very day, as in life I go along, if I just stop and listen, I can sometimes still hear them sing their song. But I stood and watched them saddle their horses, mount up and ride away. I heard my horses nicker a farewell, and I heard that big mule bray. And I watched them till they disappeared over the hill. And all at once everything was so serene, so quiet, so calm, so still. It made me wonder, would I ever see these men anymore? Then I realized I had work to do, so I better finish my chore. That's when I realized the 2 bales of hay I pulled out last night was still laying by the stack. And I looked in the pen where their horses had been. In the snow there was nary a track. Why, it made me wonder. Then I remembered some of the songs they sang, some I'd never heard before. And all at once they raced through my head, every word, every note, every score. I don't know. I do know there's a mess in the cabin, a pile of dirty dishes that need to clean up. I walked in and looked at the table. There was only 1 plate and 1 cup. And I remembered the amount of coffee them 3 fellas drank. And I went over and I hefted the pot. Why, it was heavy. Why, it's dang near full to the top. Again, I wondered. But then I remembered the stories he told about Jesus and the 3 wise men. And they read from that Bible right there by that lamp. And I remembered the fuss my horses made last night when them strangers rode into my camp. I don't know. I do know I've got a job. I need to saddle a horse and ride. I'm losing my mind, I fear. I opened the door to the saddle room. There hung that big mule deer. Again, I wondered. Then I remembered the feast we had last night. There was a big piece of meat on every plate. And I looked at the hindquarters of that deer. I'd only cut off 1 steak. Well, I realize this is going to cause some confusion. But folks, that's my story. You're going to have to come to your own conclusion. As for me, oftentimes I just stop and wonder, were they angels? Thank you. The love in Grandpa's eyes. There was a lady in Buffalo came to me one. He said, "Would you write a poem about Grandpa?" Well, did I know Grandpa? No, he lives in Idaho. You know, and I've had people ask me about writing poems about Uncle Joe and Aunt Tilly and so on. You can't do them justice. Well, I was trying to figure out how I was going to back out of that. She started telling me about Grandpa. And I got thinking that fit a lot of grandpas. And give it some thought. That words is rolling around my head. I have this problem. I can't read writing and I can't write reading. And, so I had all these words running around up there, and the good Lord come along and put them in place. I wrote it down on the blackboard of my brain. The love in Grandpa's eyes. He heard the yelling and screaming, and he heard the screen door slam. Uh-oh, somebody's got a problem. Somebody's in a jam. His little grandson come in with a skinned up shin and climbed up on Grandpa's knee. A hug and a kiss stopped the sobbing, and the tears soon went away. Well, a Band-Aid was all that was needed to cover this wounded spot. And Grandpa told him it'd be all right, it shouldn't hurt a lot. And Grandpa bragged on the young'un. Told him he was so brave, but he need not worry, sure the leg could be saved. Well, the little fella giggled and slid down to be on his way. And he got to going out to play. But when he got to the screen door, he turned to wave goodbye. And that's when he seen the smile on Gram's face, and he could see the love in his eye. Now, the granddaughter planned her wedding day, and Grandpa seen his son give this granddaughter away. And his mind drifted back to, 20-some years ago, when they handed him this tiny bundle. Oh, it set his heart aglow. His first grandchild. And he remembered the games they used to play. Why, he had a tea party pretty near every day. And sometimes Grandpa would pretend to spill his cup, I guess. She would pretend to clean up this little pretended mess. And sometimes Grandpa she would defend. It's not your fault, Grandpa, it's Dolly. She wet herself again. Time rolled on. Years just seemed to round. He remembered the birthday parties with her little friends gathered around. And remembered her dressing up for the teenage dances. And the tears she shed from a broken heart, from broken teenage romances. But now here she is at the altar, standing there with her man. He's putting a ring on that left hand. And she turns ever so slightly and takes a peek so sly. And that's when she seen the glow on Grandpa's face and could see the love in his eye. Now, Grandpa's standing on the street corner, waiting for the parade to start. Oh, when those bands get to playing, it puts excitement in his heart. And here comes the American Legion. They usually lead the way. And it makes his mind drift back to another day, when he was a member of the United States Army Corps, and off across that big water, fighting in a foreign war. But now everybody stands, puts their hand over their heart to show their tribute. But Grandpa puts his hand to his brow and gives Old Glory a big salute. And other groups come passing with the stars and stripes flying high. And each one that comes past puts a tear and love in Grandpa's eye. Now the sun's gone down. The day is spent. They fold their hands, bow their head, and the evening prayer is sent. And Grandma and Grandpa, hand in hand, going off to bed. They stop and look into each other's eye. No word needs to be said.